Yolok. I've got something to say, and I really wish I didn't. I've been looking forward to Bayonetta 3 for a really long time. I played the first one years ago, absolutely loved it. It somehow managed to out Devil May Cry, which is nearly impossible. Never got around to buying a Wii U for 2, because nothing is worth buying a Wii U, but I just finally picked up a Switch and bought it for entirely too much money. Nintendo, you assholes! Even at $50, it was well worth the price of admission. I made a mistake putting it off for so long. Bayonetta 2 is goddamn spectacular. I fucking loved it start to finish. It's a trip, incredibly well designed, and builds on what made the first game great in all the right ways. I'll probably make some content out of it at some point because it just deserves it. So coming right off of playing through that roller coaster, imagine how excited I was to get into 3, and imagine how disappointed I was to see what they did. I genuinely feel like I'm being gaslighted. Everyone and their mother seems to love this game. They're all wrong. It's not Bayonetta. I just played Bayonetta last week. This isn't it. It's a competent title. It would be fine as a breakout IP with a fresh coat of paint on it, but to call it Bayonetta is just... well, it's revolting. Before we even start the game, something goes wrong. They put in a baby mode for children that censors the nudity and tones down the gore. It even throws up a pop-up that asks you to turn it on. Voice playing hard. Oh my god. Why is this... dude, okay, I can understand burying it in the options somewhere if you're like 10 or some shit. I don't know. But prompting you to put this on when you start the game is a bit much. This is fucking Bayonetta. It's hypersexualized, hyper-stylized slaughter. If this is a problem for you, why are you even playing the game? It undermines its own core identity before it even gets off the ground. That was the first red flag, and it just goes downhill from there. Let's jump right into talking about the most important thing, the combat. First sin, feet weapons are gone. You can't put weapons on your feet! That's what Bayonetta is, dude! That was Bayonetta's thing. You find a new weapon and you can put it on your fucking feet. Swords, feet. Rocket launchers, feet. Fucking chainsaws, feet. No other game did this. None. It was completely unique. Taking it away was absolutely criminal. Massive disappointment. In its place are Demon Masquerade moves. You transform into a half-demon and do an attack, some of which are really cool, but they in no way justify axing one of the franchise's defining features. The pace is much slower than Bayonetta 2. Baldur and Acer both had some of the fastest attacks I've ever seen in a game, like approaching human reaction time quick. And even some of the normal enemies, like the Centaur with Ivy's sword, were so goddamn fast. Keeping up was a struggle. It was engaging, it was fun, and when you finally got a flow going, you felt like a fucking badass. It was so thrilling. Not anymore. Normal enemies are largely sluggish. Most of the bosses are massive and very slow. The game is much slower than Bayonetta 2. Much slower. Very few are small and quick, which is where the game has always been at its best. There's a partial dodge now, which gives you like a second of witch time. This only serves to bait you into starting an attack and getting hit when it suddenly expires. I'd much rather not get it at all. The gameplay loop is also predictable as hell this time. You know exactly what to expect from this game from very early on. The first two games kept surprising you and never really stopped. Like, okay, I guess we're doing this now. Oh, it's Paradiso, okay. We in heaven. This fucking game. This is 2 steps from hell. I think it is, what the fuck? In Bayonetta 3, you go through a destroyed city, watch some random cringe version of Jean or Bayonetta die. You fight a boss, you rip out your heart, you supercharge a summon, you do a gimmick phase, you get a MacGuffin, and you move on. You do this 4 times in a row, and that's the entire game. It's fucking boring. It's literally Mario. The heart thing would have actually been really cool at the end. It's a good idea, and it's badass. Oh? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Did you just tear out your own heart? What the fuck? When did you learn how to do this? But she just does it over and over again, and there doesn't even seem to be a cost to it. She just puts it right back and it works fine. So it's like, why aren't you doing this all the time? It's clearly effective. Why not? Speaking of summons, they're the biggest change and the main attraction of gameplay. They're broken. They're just too good. You basically have infinite mana and it recharges entirely too fast. That's right. It recharges. You don't need to fight for it this time. So, you're incentivized to sit back and play Pokemon like a bitch instead of Bayonetta. Oh. Oh, here it comes! Okay, maybe I sold Gamora short. Many of them are also big and slow. Some control badly. A few are just plain weird. I almost stopped using them entirely because they were just making the game too easy. Two's climaxes were actually satisfying as hell and a much better way to incorporate demons into combat. You finish a combo, you huck a bird at them or cut them with the horse. This shit, while initially cool, loses its luster fast once you realize how abusable it is. Viola. Oh my god, Viola. I hate her. I hate everything about her. She plays completely differently and her inputs aren't even the same as Bayonetta's by default. Switching between the two is a chore. Her block seems to have a different timing entirely. She's clunky, she has crazy long recovery frames, she's cringe as fuck. The game itself never takes her seriously despite her serious backstory.
What? Oh, shit! Ah! Hot! No! This is the only outfit I brought! Gotta find water, fast!
And to top it all off, she's obviously a communist. I despised every single second of her gameplay. Her design is a fantastic example of simply overdoing it. You can pull off a punk rocker type and have it be cool, like a Nero with tits or something. Instead, she lands squarely in an uncanny valley of cringe. Whoever decided to force us to play as her should be fired. You make us wait 8 years for more Bayonetta, and you give us this bitch instead. Fuck you! The music also disappointed me. What does Bayonetta sound like? Main themes, go. What do we hear? Angelic choir, obnoxious piano, synths clapping like crazy, super high energy, blazing tempo. It's so fucking happy. It just oozes, I'm gonna style all over you, love every second of it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Just pure exuberance, memorable stuff. Now for 3. Much slower tempo. And where's the goddamn piano? And the boss themes? Some of them are alright, but nothing is anywhere near the level of You May Call Me Father, Greatest Jubilee, Lumen Sage, even Beyond Time. I don't really remember much of anything, which would have been unthinkable going into it. I'm really not a fan of the creepy choir they keep using, regardless of how well it fits. Voice acting. Jen Hale does the best she can, and I'm not knocking her at all, but it's a very clear downgrade. Helena Taylor's performance was simply iconic. It's like trying to voice Darth Vader, right? No matter who you are, or how well you perform, you simply can't match James Earl Jones. It's such a shame that she seems to have lost her goddamn mind. The game really suffers for it, and I miss her terribly. Bayonetta's personality is halved. It's just poof. Her behavior also feels much more generic. All she really does is push her glasses up with her gun over and over again. And they turned her into a sappy romantic, and even worse, a furry. She's supposed to tease the hell out of you and then call you a bitch and walk away, not get all choked up and go in for a kiss. One-liners? Flat. Catty attitude? Muted. She barely even curses. It's just, what could have been? Performance. The Switch seriously struggles with this game. I was experiencing single-digit frame rates at some points while my console attempted to achieve lift. Like, imagine this but on good hardware, by the way. The poor Switch can barely handle this. The Switch is like a Fisher-Price toy. I'm surprised it can even run it, honestly. Oh, what is this? Oh my... No way can those hold your weight. I'm sorry, game. That's too far. One of the greatest tragedies of modern gaming was Nintendo buying out this IP and putting these games on Fisher-Price hardware. That was always such a strange acquisition. Not exactly on brand for them, is it? I get that Bayonetta 2 wouldn't have even happened otherwise, but could it at least have been Microsoft or Sony instead? We might have actually gotten Scalebound that way. The story is complete trash. It makes no sense whatsoever. It really jumped the shark with this multiverse bullshit. Inferno and Paradiso do not factor into it at all, despite being threatened. We never go to either, never fight a single angel or demon in the entire story. It's just different varieties of green goop dudes. Cutscenes are entirely too long, Jean is still fucking useless, things just happen with no explanation. The villain is totally uninteresting, we don't even have a motive for him besides more power. He's just doing this for shits and giggles as far as we know. Baldur had a goal, Lopter had a goal, both had style and were memorable. This guy is just Mark Zuckerberg plugged into the metaverse. All the destruction is just magically undone at the end, like they've got the goddamn Infinity Gauntlet. There's no better way to summarize it than this. In Bayonetta 1, you summon the devil to punch God's soul through the entire solar system and into the sun. In Bayonetta 2, Infiniton! Limit exceeded! Step on him, Monkey! Of course, we knocked the soul out. Yep. What have you been doing, John? Oh, we got Gamora back! Yeah, woo! Yes! Nope! You will not escape this fate! You're gonna get bored, buddy! Here it comes! Here it comes! Here comes the airplane! Oh my god! We just moored God, by the way. In Bayonetta 3... No, you could just move, you know. You don't have to block it.
When you fight for what you believe, you can change anything.
Gay! Lame messaging, DRX moment. God fucking damn it. That's it. Fuck this game. And then at the very end, it commits the ultimate sin.
What?
I hate it.
Shit, my bad. Forgot to use the family name. Be back by curfew.
Don't you dare.
Bayonetta.
Shutting it off. Shutting it off. Shutting it off. Shutting it off. Nope, we're done. We're fucking done. We're fucking done. Fuck you, Platinum Games. You fucking ruined it. Anyway, this utter garbage gets no more than a 5 out of 10 from me for stepping all over the franchise and grinding it into paste. It's a competent title, but it in no way lives up to its predecessors. Instead, it turns its back and outright disrespects them. Bayonetta is dead to me. This is the video game version of The Rise of Skywalker. It literally does the I am all the Bayonettas thing, and then a cringy bitch who doesn't deserve it steals the main character's name. There's exactly one way out of this, and that's to retcon it entirely. This was apparently some alternate universe version of Bayonetta, not our girl from 1 and 2. So just forget about her, forget about the Kami, treat it like DMC, get the original writers back, pick up with the real Bayonetta, and just forget this ever happened. What is wrong with Platinum Games, man? Something is not right over there. Reading around, it seems like there have been some pretty significant staffing changes. I guess they're the Japanese BioWare now. Another one bites the dust. Do not buy this game. Replay 1 or 2 on Infinite Climax instead. You'll have more fun, and you'll avoid depression. That's about it. Sorry this is so scuffed, but I gotta get this out before getting sucked into God of War, which hopefully won't be yet another fucking disappointment. May you be blessed. See ya.